Hey, Marty here with you again on Warehouse and Operations as a Career. This week, let's talk about how we're looking for work, some of those avenues used today, and how we're using those available platforms. We've discussed a lot of the advantages with social media a couple of times, but I'm not sure we've talked about what all is out there and how companies may be using them. One of our first go-to stops may be ad boards, or online classifieds, I guess you could call them. One of the most used around here in my area is Craigslist, craigslist.org. Then there's job boards. Many of those are large national companies with a long reach like Monster.com, Glassdoor.com, CareerBuilder.com, and let's see what else. Then there's ZipRecruiter.com. And that's just to name a few. Oh, and Indeed.com. It may be the most well-known of all. In a lot of areas, it may be easy to find printed classifieds paper. In my area, we have things like the Thrifty Nickel and the Green Sheet. And you can find them at local convenience stores, car washes, and a lot of apartment complexes carry them around the mailbox areas too. I'm sure there's something like that in most neighborhoods. Another good printed source is our local, city, town, or even neighborhood newspapers. Most of them still have a classified section where we can sell things that we no longer need. Things like our old bikes that's just sitting in the garage, maybe a car, or even our motorcycles. I sold a boat once through the classified ads in our local paper. So let's talk about the online classifieds first. I know for me, this was my go-to place for advertising, for positions in the past, really up to like 2 years ago. I think it's still a great place to start. Typically, a company or recruiter will write an ad with a brief description of the position that they're hiring for, maybe the shift and pay rates, and maybe a little bit about their company. Usually, it will tell us everything we need to know about the job and qualifying requirements for the position. The ad will list the employer contact information such as the address, phone number, or maybe the hours and days that applications are going to be taken. Sometimes we'll have to email our reply for information back through the ad's publisher though. Maybe we can attach our resume or work history to it and send it that way. I've heard many an individual utilizing this process, and it can be okay, but it can be a bit burdensome for us as job seekers having to search through the hundreds or maybe even thousands of positions listed. I think most of them have a search function that we can use keywords, something like forklift, order selector, warehouse, transportation, or really any position that we're looking for. It helps to narrow our searches quite a bit, but we'll still possibly have to scroll through several different industries worth of stuff that may be using the same keywords. I think these online classifieds are probably stronger in smaller cities or townships. Well, maybe not stronger. That's probably not the right word. I'll just say a great place to start with, though. It's important to remember we need to really describe our work history, what we are good at, and how we're going to be an asset to their company. We want them to call us and set up that interview. Job boards, they can be a great online tool also. These are companies our prospective employer can subscribe to post their open positions. We're probably all familiar with the larger ones, as you may see TV commercials and billboards promoting them to employers and applicants all the time. They work in much the same way as the online classified sites, but they are much dressier and streamlined and may give us much more search criteria to really drill down to the positions we're actually seeking or looking for. Again, as with the online classifieds, these are typically free to job seekers, with the prospective employer paying for the advertisement. Now, these ads may even use some sharp-looking graphics and colors to produce an ad that really reaches out and grabs us or sucks us in and gets our attention. With job boards, we can usually get to a lot more information about the positions, either by clicking on a link within the posting or actually having the opportunity to complete an online application right from the website. Let's be sure to use this opportunity and fill in every blank on the forms. Sell them on us. Make sure they know their search for an employee is over. I've seen recruiters skip over incomplete applications, and we can't really blame them. There's hundreds of applicants filling out applications every day. If they have to hunt down our phone numbers or email addresses, it's just not going to happen. They truly don't have that kind of time. Some of these sites may repost or distribute an ad to many other smaller or community sources also. One thing we need to remember is that the original advertisement may have been filled, and the posting has been removed from some sites, but may stay up on others for a long time or really maybe forever. Just this week, I heard about an applicant that got really upset over a posting with a recruiter, overhearing that the position had already been filled. The gentleman just didn't understand that she didn't know where he had seen the post. She'd taken down her original offering, but even she doesn't know, what all job boards may have picked it up and left it up. That's one of the downfalls with internet searches. Some sites may not keep their servers as up to date as others. It may not be the person's fault that actually advertised the job. It's just gotten dated somewhere out of her control. Anyway, I think job boards are a great resource, and I find them much easier to reply to and usually easier to upload or attach our resume and work histories to, getting them directly to the recruiter or hiring agents. Some of these job boards have apps for our phones too. When someone's posting something about a position that meets our qualifications, we may be able to receive a notification immediately and can review it right then, putting us first in line to submit our interest in the job. I mentioned print ads earlier. These advertisements are usually smaller and get right to the point. We may see the position, something like order selector, a pay range, and the contact information to the company or the agency that's doing the hiring. It's usually going to require a little more action from us as applicants. We'll probably have to call and speak to someone to find out what the shift is, maybe the hiring requirements and qualifications needed for the position. I've found the printed ads really productive in smaller communities or cities, maybe not so much in larger environments or the large metroplex areas. Calling someone about all the advertisements we'll find can be a lot of work, and then we'll probably still have to get an email or fax number to send our resumes or work history in for them to review. So what brought all this up this week? I was asked what's the best platform to look for a job with. The individual knew that there was online classifieds. She's used them before and had of course seen advertisements about job boards online and stated a friend had found her new job in the paper. She wanted to know which was the best or quickest way to find her next employer. I personally believe as applicants we have to utilize every tool at our disposal. We're not presently employed and we want to be, right? I almost forgot about another great resource. One we don't think about every day is our friends and family. A lot of times, information about positions may be sitting right there beside us. Remember to put the word out and let everyone know we're looking for a new or a different job. Looking for work can be really rough, and I like to look at it as a full-time job in itself. In my experience, we'll need to seek out and apply to every position that we can find. That we qualify for, of course, and that we believe we'll enjoy doing. Throw those hooks in the pond and be ready and prepared to catch whatever tugs on the line. Let's go back to ready and prepared for just a minute. This is where we have to shine. We've talked a lot here at WAOC about being prepared for those phone interviews and that face-to-face interview in earlier episodes. We'll need to be ready. Have our experience on the tips of our tongues and make the hiring agent understand we're the right person for that job, that their search is over. That makes me think about our resume. Our resume is our introduction. It's really important. We have to have our work history and our accomplishments written out, using those keywords that an HR generalist or a computer system is going to be looking for. We want to have ours pulled out, reviewed, and for them to feel like they just have to speak with us. It really needs to read as they've found that perfect person for the job. You might want to check out episodes 4 and 5, the resume and the interview if you missed them. Oh, and I believe it was episode 59 where we interviewed Sharon and Michelle on thoughts on recruiting and benefits. I think they covered just how important those things can be a couple of different times. You may enjoy reviewing them again. One platform I left out today is social media. We've briefly discussed it a few times, and I tell you what, I'll reach out to some pros and we'll take a deep dive into how recruiters are using those platforms to engage with us applicants and job seekers. Maybe we can get some insight on what we can do differently or do much better to help ourselves. I'll see if we can put that together here in just the next few weeks. Well, thanks for checking in with us this week. And so until next week, please take care, think safe, and work safe.